Walk round the compound, see some pretty tigers. Walk round the compound. Walk round the compound. Walk round the compound.
Whoa. Whoa. You didn't even let me get set up. You didn't even let me get set up. What do you got to say about that? Think that that's any way to conduct yourself, mister? What do you got to say? That's what I thought. That's what I thought. You need to go over there and kind of think about maybe like the consequences of your actions. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hey, hey, hey. Let's calm down. Hey. Jacob, I need to come and talk to a more sensible, reasonable, well-behaved tiger. Because that other guy. Thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, munch. Yeah. Reset? We reset? Nope. Nope. No. No. Not a fan. Not a fan. What is your problem? Kiki. Hey, sugar pie. Princess. Here, sit. Hey. I was recently on a Lord of the Rings meme subreddit, which I think there's like basically like the one, like LOTR memes or something like that. But they had a question thread, and I don't, maybe what was it a meme? It doesn't matter. It was basically somewhere on Reddit, and they were talking about it was a Lord of the Rings trilogy specifically kind of fan page, and which is the greatest trilogy of all time. Just making sure that people just are aware that's where I'm coming from. But there was a question, and it was like, well, what are common criticisms that people have of the trilogy that are just, they're not like, oh my gosh, they're, but they're just annoying. Like, for instance, oh, why didn't they use the eagles? Us is bad writing. And I'm like, you don't get all the nuanced reasons for why it's not a good. Again, it's you can get into like all sorts of like nerdy rabbit holes. But there's like certain complaints that the casuals will have regarding the most epic and greatestly produced trilogy of all time. There's casual opinions that may not necessarily flow well with the rest of the LOTR citizenry, so to speak. Whoa. But there was something that just made me laugh. It made me chortle, made me laugh out loud, made me lull, which I always think is fun whenever you can read something online. Especially if it's a nerdy thing and it's a niche thing and it's presented in a way that it's like, haha. There's like multiple levels of, oh, I get it. Like, I get that reference kind of thing. And in one of the comments on that discussion thread, it was like, well, what's a commonly held, albeit aggravating opinion that other people may have regarding the trilogy? And this one guy wrote, well, I was watching the trilogy, I was watching Return of the King with my dad and my stepmom. And my stepmom, during the trilogy, basically did like the tap the watch, kind of roll her eyes, and kind of was like, how much longer is this battle sequence, or something to the effect of like, is this thing over yet? Is this battle gonna be like one of those kind of things? Which, you have to like, I get it. They're long battle sequences. But if those are your movies and that's your jam, you hear that. That's just nails on a chalkboard. Just like they're masterfully done. I get it though. I do get it. They're long, and some people are like, yeah, these are really long, and it might not be your cup of tea, and you might be sitting there saying just like, when is this thing gonna be over? But if you're of the group of individuals who believe that the Peter Jackson trilogy is some of the highest forms of art that's ever been put to screen, you're like, oh my gosh, this battle scene isn't long enough. I need more. That's my biggest complaint, is that it was too short. So yeah, I get it. It's like I get both sides of that. I do. I get both sides of that. But the top comment in response to that comment made me laugh. And it really is only funny if you're basically like of the tribe. So I don't even know why I'm telling you guys. Of the tribe. Zuby. But the top comment was, it was just really simple. It was just, it was like, what can one stepson do against such reckless hate? I read that and I laughed. I laughed out loud. And I'm like, and because I read it in Theoden's voice too. I'm like, that's amazing. It's amazing. And it's like, technically, like, it's so meta, because really it's a line from the Two Towers movie about the Battle of Pelennor Fields. There's a lot of different metas happening. All right, enough of that. Let's move on to the cast. There's some opinions that are happening, but it's weird because Zuby is like over there. Zuby's like, dude, what you doing? And it's weird. It's not even so much like, I'm not exactly sure what he's keeping me from, or protecting a thing from me, or maybe even protecting me from a thing. There's all sorts of different motivations that could be kind of happening. But it seems like he's indifferent to me. Hi. Going over to say hi to Zuby. And it seems like it has more to do with me being like in the proximity of the volunteer center, which is the lower level of the suites. Hi. Zoops. Ra. He's a complicated boy. He's complicated. What can one Derek do against such reckless hate? Huh? Hi, ZZ. Hi, ZZ. ZZZZZ. ZZZZZ. ZZZ. ZZZ. Hey. Here's a good girl. Here's a good girl. Here's a good girl, yeah. You're doing good. Doing good. You have snuffles. That's a good thing. Okay. No guarantees that these guys are going to be amicable and in good spirits. because we fed yesterday. Now, they've had enough time. They should have had enough time. And I gave them shoulders, big cow shoulders. So hopefully they will have been able to kind of put the work in to eat the cow shoulders. It's like if you give, you have to map out like the relative complexity of a piece of food that you're gonna give to an animal. Sometimes you'll have just a chunk. It's just a chunk of meat. That's it. Meat and hide. And that's like lowest level complexity. I'd say that shoulders are probably just like the next level up. There's like a bone, but there's no joints to have to kind of deal with. It's just the one kind of flat shoulder blade. That's it. Probably next above that is probably front leg. Because you got like ankle bone, and then you got, I guess kind of like this from like the elbow up. Because that's really what it is. Yeah. Maybe, no, it's not. I'm dumb. Is it? I'm trying to like remember like the different ways in which I'm literally mentally butchering a horse or a cow right now, and I'm mentally then like, okay, we go through this joint and then we cut this thing and we gotta chain it up over here. Okay, we gotta do the thing. But yeah, actually there are there's a joint extra in a front leg. But still, I will stand by my assessment in that the front leg with the shoulder separated from it is probably the next. So then you have chunk, and then you have like the shoulder with the shoulder bone, because it's a chunk of meat with shoulder bone, and then you have the front leg. That's the next more complicated piece. Potato. Potato. Ooh. Potato. Potato. Potato head. Potato head. Hi. Hey, mister. See, he's snuffled. Hey. Yeah, you're starting to kind of maybe realize, like, I don't even know if it's, like, even worth kind of trying to get all bent out of shape over trying to protect this thing, because at this point he probably literally just has a bone and maybe some, like, hide pieces. So the instinctual part of him is like, no, I still have to protect this. But then there's, like, a weird, like, logical part of him that's like, no, I've pretty much eaten all I can eat from this thing. I can just go back to just being a nice tiger. I can go back to being a nice tiger. Yeah. But then there's that instinctual part that says, like, but I still got bones and they still smells like food. Hey, look at your belly. Look at your belly. You stinkhead. You stinky smelly tiki. You stinky smelly dumb face. Gross. Gross, gross, gross. You do actually have a little bit. You still have some meat on there. You still got some meat. Oh boy, I can smell the cow on your breath. I don't want to put myself too much more further to the left of where I'm standing, because that would ostensibly put me in between, like, it would be like Slade, then me, then his leftovers, and he might not like that. So I don't want to be disrespectful. Cool. Okay, so yeah, chunk, then chunk with shoulder blade, then front leg, then back leg. And really, because the back leg, it's just, you have like more, there's more kind of leverage and more angles and like more pieces that kind of articulate and stuff like that. Then, it's actually, that's a good, like, what's more complicated, the carcass with like the rib cage and the spinal column and stuff like that, or the head. I'm not sure. Carcass or the head. It's Ezra. He's got his leftovers there. Ezzy choo-choo. 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 Whoa. I'm actually going to say that, yeah. I'm going to say that the head, yeah, more complicated than... I'm just getting to, like, I'm looking at it also from a perspective, not necessarily like, oh, the head's got the brain, and the brain is the most complicated. Like, I get that. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking more along the lines of, like, how much work is it going to be for the cat to kind of get through it? A lot of times when you have a bunch of bones and you have like just different kind of things, crevasses, nooks and crannies, hi, for the cats to kind of work through, right? It increases the complexity. It does. Increases the complexity. So I would say that the head has more kind of like crevasses, nooks and crannies that a cat has to work through. So what I mean by that, because before what I was trying to get at, the concept I was trying to kind of get, what is he doing? What is he doing? Ezzy, choo-choo, what are you doing? Oh boy, you're being silly. I was trying to basically illustrate a concept of like when because this is another thing, I was the one picking all the pieces. I was picking the food, and I did try to pick pieces that would be stimulating enough but relatively non-complicated, so that particularly Boomer and Slade would be cool with filming by the time it came time to film stuff. Knowing that it's like, well, because if you have limited time to actually be around the animals filming, and let's say that I got a weekend, and then Saturday I got to feed the cats. So then it's like you're working on Saturday. Saturday's your outdoor day. You're getting your poop and your blood on your day. You got to feed the cats, and then you know that the next day is you're gonna have a bunch of angry kitties for a prolonged period of time if they're still kind of working on their food. You know what I'm saying? Unless if I were to have fed, this is the thing, we didn't have any heads. Because generally Boomer and Slade, they'll get heads. Because heads have a lot of meat on them. But we didn't have any. We didn't have any heads, but we had some big honking shoulders. Big, like bull shoulders. Perfectly Boomer and Slade sized. So they got fed. They got fed enough. But they didn't get fed stuff that would have kept them so busy and so focused and so not ready to like be like, hey, what's up? That's what I'm saying. It's a weird thing. It's a weird indice. There's a weird indices kind of metric to try to capture and quantify. What are you doing? What is that? Hey, bud. Oh, that was a little burp. That was a little burp. That was a little tiger burp. Yeah, tiger burp. Tiger burp, tiger headbutt. Nice. Rearranging some furniture. I get it. What are you doing? He's like, that goes over there. He's like, woof, I'm pooped. It's like, that seems like that would be like one of those Highland games. Some like Scottish, thing that goes back to, like, when the Scotland bridge makers, we used to have to headbutt stones to make bridges. I'm like, what? That's okay. It's a tradition that goes back 600 years. Okay. I'll take your word for it. Oh, there's more squishy kitties. Wow. 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 Wowies and bowie. Hey. Hey, bud. Hey, Volvo. Hey, Volvo. Hi. Whoa. Whoa. Okay. Hey. Yeah. He's a good boy. He is a boy that is good. Hey, foof, foof, foof. Fire is not happy at the presence of me. She does have food. And she is not done. I don't think... What did she get? Oh, she may have gotten like a leg and a chunk, and she may have gotten a couple pieces, which then increases, just because sometimes you'll have like, oh, here's a shoulder and a small leg. We have to kind of combine them in order to reach the meat equivalent that she'll need. A lot of times you have to kind of eyeball and make your adjustments as you're going. But yeah, that'll also increase the complexity. Why did I say it like that? The complexity factor. So, it's part of it. Hi, pretty girl. Hi, pretty girl. Hey, baby girl. Hey. Wow. You have a lot of food in your belly, by the way. Not the food. In the old tum-tum. Nice. All right. Well, have a good pee. Thank you for watching this episode of the Walk Around the Compound webcast. Hashtag Dorbist Award in the comment section below. Like and subscribe for all of your big cat goodness. And if you want to learn more about the facility around me, you can always visit the website carerescuetexas.com for more information. You keep them tigers fed. Big shout out to the extra fancy patrons. I see you. You are so fancy, and thank you so much for your continued support. And we'll see you next time. All right. Bye-bye.
The webcast is now over. Thanks for watching. You should like and subscribe for more.